My name is Villella. I'm going to be showing you Pasasana today. Pasasana is a pose that's always been really challenging for me. I guess it could be the Achilles, it could be a weakness in the front of the shin, or maybe just not enough twisting. But all of those things coming together I've always found really challenging. To this day, it's still a pose that I somewhat struggle with. And some days I feel really good in it, really comfortable, and other days it's just challenging for me. So in this short clip, I'm going to be showing a few preparations for Pasasana, some things that really helped me. I've tried to work this pose in so many ways, and what I'm showing here today is things that actually I really felt like they really benefited my Pasasana and helped me to get into it in a deeper place. Very often I see people who will do like a mat roll. They'll roll up their mat and put it underneath their heels. And there was a time where I used to try and work on it in that manner. However, I found that in working on the mat, I never really worked on getting the heels down to the floor. So I discourage working on it that way. If it works for you and you're getting something out of it, it's good for finding the bind and it's good for twisting, but it's not good for finding that deep stretch in the Achilles and the strength really in the anterior of the shin bones in the front of the calves. So what I do like is if you use the wall as support and you bring your feet as close to the wall as you can, getting them flat, and then press into them. So there might be a tiny bit of space, but as you push down into your feet, you actually start to lift your hips up the wall. So you're working on the strength in the legs and the thighs as well. So lifting up, you're going to take yourself up over your thigh as much as you can. Now, it's really important to work on getting the rib cage up over the thighs. So you're initiating the twist from the ribs. Well, the entire spine is twisting as opposed to working on just side bending. So as much as we can whenever we're twisting, we want both sides of our waist to remain equally long. What that usually means is that in this instance, when we're twisting to the left, the right side is actually going to have to engage so that we can maintain the length on the left side as opposed to shortening it and just kind of wrapping the arm around and going like this. So work on bringing the ribs up over top of the thigh and then press down into the feet, and you're going to take the left arm and reach it up the wall. Now you're both working on bringing the right hip and right knee back to the wall as you press down into your heels and then try to stretch the front body. The left arm and the right arm are just there for support. So here we're working on all the aspects that are key to this pose. And I generally recommend when you're working on these little preparations for the pose that you hold them longer than 5 breaths. So you keep pressing down through your heels, work the right knee back, the left knee is level with the right, and keep opening up the chest as opposed to allowing the front body to collapse. You really want to pull the shoulders down the back away from the ears and reach the sternum forward. And you can use the hands to help you find that action. Okay, and then I'm going to demonstrate the second side. So when coming out of it, come out carefully. And then you'll go to the second side. So again, you find your feet. Keep the heels together, ankles together, knees touching. Work the left arm up over the right thigh. And you work towards getting the outside of the armpit. So the back of the armpit to the outside of the right knee. And then use your left hand for support. Take the right arm up. Lift your hips up and try to press both heels evenly into the floor. Take the left knee back as opposed to just letting the knee go out to the left and in front of the right knee. You want to keep the knees pretty much level, which tells you that the sacrum and the pelvis is level. And then with the right arm, you reach up the wall and you're lengthening the front of your body, reaching the sternum straight forward as you deepen the twist. So the left ribs are coming in and up as the right side body expands and lengthens. Okay, and then again, release carefully. So this next variation on Pasasana, this was really helpful for me because in this variation you really have to work the legs and you can start to find the independence here. So you start off actually on your toes with your heels lifted and your knees together. And then you start the twist here with your right elbow outside of your left knee. Now already you're starting to work the actions of the twist. So the right ribs coming in so that the left side body can lengthen. And your hands are on the wall for support so that you can start to work the armpit to the outside of the knee. And as you do this, you're working the right ribs up over the left thigh. Then with your hands, you're going to slowly let your heels come down to the floor. And it's not just that you sink your hips down, but instead you kind of press into the feet so that your hips lift up and you can find the twist here. And again, the knees, you do your best to keep the knees level and the hips level as you twist to the left. And with your left hand, what you can do, there's going to be a tendency for the weight to come back. And with your left hand, you can push it forward so that you start to feel what it is to have your weight centered over your feet, so that one day you can do this pose without the wall. And then we'll release that. So now we'll switch sides. So we're going to turn and have our right side to the wall. And you want to keep your feet, again, about 6-8 inches away from the wall, enough space so that you can get your body through to the right side of your right leg. So we'll start off with the heels lifted, and the knees are going to be together, heels together, and you take your hand, left hand to the wall, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and the right hand up the wall, which is going to prevent you from tipping back too far. So as you lift your ribs up over your right thigh, you'll slowly start to lower the heels down to the floor. Then use your right hand to help you twist towards the right. And as you press with your right hand, it's kind of like you're pressing with your right hand and pulling with your left hand. You want to keep using the right hand so that you don't let the hips go back towards the heels. The right hand is helping to push the weight forward over your feet. And then you start to twist. The knees squeeze together. Hips stay pretty much square to the front as the chest opens up to the wall. And continue to stretch the front body. So keep pulling the chest forward towards the wall and then that way. Towards your chest towards your chin. Okay, and then when you're ready to come out, slowly release.